Okay, so you know the standard parenting model, right? A baby cries, you run. The baby's quiet, you think, phew, everything's good. It's what we all do. But what if I told you that's like watching a movie with the sound off?
Well, here's this huge idea, a game changer really, that's been bubbling up from decades of infant neuroscience. And it's this: your baby is talking to you all the time, loudly, clearly, and most of it happens without a single tear. They're using a whole other language, and once you get it, you'll hear it everywhere.
So it's really about a massive shift in how we think about this. Instead of being a firefighter, just running around putting out the crying fires, we get to be architects. We're actually building a connection. And that's what we're going to do today. We are going to decode 12 specific signals your baby is using to talk to you, like right this second.
And listen, you're going to want to stick around for signal number 7. Seriously, it's so quiet, so fast, that most of us just miss it. We see it every day and think it's nothing. But the science, it says this tiny little moment is one of the biggest deals for your baby's emotional future. No joke.
Okay, but before we jump into the signals themselves, we have to get our heads around why they're so important. Because this isn't just about, getting your baby to stop fussing. This is way bigger. We're talking about how a human brain actually gets built. And it all starts with this one kind of mind-blowing fact about biology.
Get this. When a baby is born, their brain is only about 25% finished. Just let that sink in for a second. We come into this world completely unfinished. And that's not a bug. It's a feature. It's actually our species' secret weapon.
Because that other 75%, it gets built out here, in the real world, with you. It's built in your arms, through all those little day-to-day moments. Every single time you catch one of these signals and respond, bam, a new pathway fires up in the brain. So you see, you're not just raising a baby, you are literally co-creating their mind.
All right, so let's get into it. The first batch of signals we're going to talk about, these are all about connection. They're about your baby trying to build a bridge to you, to create a little world that you both share.
Okay, signal number 1. You've definitely seen this. Your baby looks at something, maybe the cat walks by, and then they immediately whip their head back to look right at your face. Now, you might think they're just looking around, but nope, that's not random. That is a very, very specific invitation.
Yeah, we might just write it off as, oh, they're just curious. But what they're really saying is, hey, you see that? Are we seeing the same thing? This is something called joint attention, and it's basically how a baby starts building a shared world with someone. They're literally checking to make sure you're both on the same page.
And don't underestimate how huge this tiny moment is. I mean, we're talking about something more important than any fancy toy or baby class. It's this simple little triangle: baby, thing, you. That is a massive predictor of everything from language to empathy down the road. When you just look where they're looking, you're sending the most powerful message there is. Yeah, I see it too. I'm with you. You're not in this alone.
This whole sharing and experience thing continues with our next signal, the reach. And yeah, we all know the classic, give me that toy reach, right? But there's another kind of reach, a much softer one. The hand is a little more open, and their gaze is kind of flicking between the thing and you. That's not a demand, it's an invitation. It's them saying, whoa, look at this with me. Let's share this.
And believe me, the signals just keep on coming. That rooting and mouthing thing, it's not always about food. Sometimes they're just warming up their mouth, practicing the moves they'll need to talk later. And when they hear your voice and turn their head towards you, that's pure recognition. That's them saying, that's my person, I want to connect. And what about that intense, still stare? That's not a blank stare. That's their brain in overdrive, just downloading you. It's the same with that little glance they give you from across the room. It's a quick ping. Hey, you still there for me?
Okay, ready for the next set? Let's move on to the second group of signals. This category is all about regulation. In other words, how your baby deals with the world inside them. Stress, all the crazy stimulation, and just feeling safe and sound.
Now this one, oh man, this one is so common. Your baby's with you, and then boom, they go stiff as a board, arch their back, and try to push away. And what's our first instinct? We think they're in pain, or maybe they just don't want to be held, so we do more. We rock them harder, we shush louder, we try to soothe them even more.
But here's the crazy part. The message they're sending is the exact opposite of what we think. That arched back, that is baby language for I am completely overwhelmed right now. They're not saying do more, they're screaming do less. It's too much. I just need quiet. I need stillness. So the right move is to just stop. Lower the volume on the world and just breathe with them.
All right, here we are, the one I told you about. Signal number 7. And interestingly, it's not about the crying itself. It's about what happens in those quiet moments after the crying stops. You've soothed them, everything seems okay, and you kind of breathe out like, okay, crisis over. But for your baby, the real work is just getting started.
Researchers have a name for this. They call it the repair phase. And in that quiet space, your baby's entire nervous system is asking this one massive question. So, what happens now, after the storm? Does my person stick around and stay soft with me? Or do they disappear now that the noise is gone?
And this is where you see just how high the stakes are. Because when you just stay there, when you stay warm and present in that little window after the crying, you are literally wiring a belief into their body. You're teaching them that connection doesn't break when things get tough, that love isn't just for when you're happy and easy. You're giving them this incredible gift called earned security, this deep down feeling that will be their anchor for the rest of their lives.
And you see this story in the other regulation signals too. When your baby looks away from you, that's not rejection. They're just saying, whoa, your face is amazing, but I gotta take a quick break from all this information. A hand in the mouth can mean, hang on, I'm gonna try and sort this out myself for a second. And have you ever seen a tense, clenched fist slowly open up while you're holding them? That's their nervous system literally saying, okay, you've made me feel safe now. It's like a real-time stress meter. And that final, total floppy body release when they fall asleep in your arms, that right there is the ultimate signal of trust. It's them saying, I trust you with everything I have.
So when you start to put all these little pieces together, what do you have? You have a language, a whole, complete language. And learning it, it doesn't just change things for your baby, it completely transforms what it means to be their parent.
So here's a quick recap. All 12 of them, we've talked about a bunch of these, right? From the let's share this of gaze following all the way to that little you still there check-in of the return gaze. Think of each one of these as a word or a sentence in this incredibly detailed conversation your baby is trying to have with you. All day, every day. And listen, I have to be really, really clear about something. You're going to miss these signals. Of course you are. You'll be exhausted. You'll be distracted. You're human. That's not failing. That's just what this is. The goal isn't perfection. It's not about catching every single one. The goal is just knowing the language is there, knowing there's a conversation happening that you can tune into. Because once you start listening for it, you just can't help but respond differently. And when you do that, you're giving your child the one single thing that all the research for decades points to as the most powerful, most important force in a person's development, a parent who actually sees them. And that, well, that's not a little thing. That's everything.
So, in all those quiet, normal, everyday moments, there is this incredible conversation going on. Your baby is telling you everything they need, everything they are. The only question is, what will you hear?